There's something wrong here.
Yeah.
And she's like, so check his pulse. I was like, yeah, check his pulse. She looked up, and I'll never forget it. She looked up to me. She was like his pulse was gone. I was like, oh my God, this guy's dead. I'm wanted at the time. I was always wanted for something, but I was wanted at the time. I was like, I ain't staying here with this dead body. And these other students then were coming up, because it was loads of, the other students started coming up then, and they were like, oh my God, what's going on here? And they were like, turn him over. And as soon as they turned his body over, I ran. I ran to the Hilton Hotel, and I said, listen, I don't want to be here, but there's a dead body over there.
Welcome to the Tackle Your Thoughts podcast, the podcast where we attempt to tackle the stigma surrounding mental health. So, without any more delay, here's the boys.
Okay, welcome to Tackle Your Thoughts podcast. Today we've got a very exciting guest in, all the way from the Big Smoke, Cardiff. He's one of the main hosts of Central Club podcast. He's here to tell us about his life. He's had a bit of a rough time and now he's over that and he's on the straight and narrow, as they say. So I'd just like to welcome Cullain Mais.
Thank you for having me. Thanks you for being here.
No, thanks, Cullain. I appreciate that, mate. It's not quite the Central Club, but we're heading in the right direction. We try our best. So it's very similar to what you do. Just want to get to know you, really. Can you just tell us about your upbringing, what happened? I guess you had a good start, and then see where it goes.
Yeah, no worries. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I've seen a couple of your episodes, and it's kind of similar to what we're trying to do as well. So much appreciated. But yeah, I'm from Cardiff. I'm from Fairwater, Cardiff West. I grew up in a good family household, so to speak. Myself and my younger brother, there's two of us, my brother Bradley. And growing up was fine for me. I think I had one of the best childhoods you could have. I think everyone says that. I had everything, I genuinely think I did. There was never a time where I felt like, oh, well, how come this guy got this but I haven't? Or, Dad, Mum, can I have this? I kind of got it, to the point where I think my mum probably sheltered me too much when I was younger. For example, if the boys were staying over the woods one night camping and my mum weren't letting me, or if the boys were going to town when we were like 12, 13, 14, my mum is like, no, you're not going. And I've said it before, the same, we're down the beach and my mum's fucking freaking out if my feet, the water's up to there because the sharks gonna get me. And I think a lot of that was down, changed me. I don't know if it's genetics or I was just conditioned to it, but growing up then I had a lot of anxiety myself, a lot of worry. I was a very homely person, and I think I was just fitted that way from my mum always protecting me.
Just overprotected you.
100%. So school was great. My father was into his sports a lot. He was a good footballer, but he done the rugby as well, whether he was watching or playing. He done the baseball, he coached the baseball, he was a good player. So I was on that front. It was good because on the weekdays, I go to school with my friends, and on the weekends I knew I'd go and watch my dad up the road for Hannah Wanderers playing football, whether it was Saturday or Sunday league. So it was always doing
something going on,
always doing something. And then part of the football team, part of the rugby team, probably weren't the greatest player you're in a team sport, and you get to know people in school, out of school, and that was fine. High school come about, and that's where I started to leave the homely, innocent life of Cullain Mais to starting to find things in life, and you just as you grow older, you just start to realise how corrupt this world is.
The big bad world.
The big bad world, and it took a while for me. I think when you go from that transition of primary school to high school, it's scary. It's scary, and like I said, when my parents, even in year 5, year 6, my parents, we'd have the sleepovers. All my mates would stay over my house. But when they come to me, my mum would either say no, or when they eventually did, I'd cry and want to come home. When you turn to year 7, 8, and and then you meet a whole different network of people, you might not bother with some. You start distancing away from some of your mates from primary school.
You find a new group of friends, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Totally, straight away.
Definitely.
And I think my daughter now, she's worried now. I've just started seeing my daughter, and she's talking about how she's leaving primary school to high school, and she's really worried because some of the people in primary school she might have a hard time with, or she might be in a close bond with that one person in primary school, and she don't want to like lose her.
Yeah.
And I just says you shouldn't worry, because like high school it is different, isn't it? Like there's so many different groups of people. You will find someone like you know. 100%. So I try and tell her that, like, but when you're in it, it is different, and I understand that. And you know, again, like high school was great for me. I was the type of person. Year 7, 8, and 9, I was just the good kid. Like, I was always a joker. Like, and you know, it went to like the good kid who would be like, you know, do his homework type of
front
thing
of the class. Like.
No, I weren't that guy. Like, but I was innocent. I was
just
innocent.
A nice kid.
Like, I didn't smoke fags. Like some of my friends who I grew up with in primary school, and I was smoking fags and going on the knock, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? Like, I know you. You're from Pennsylvania. You're not nice kid. What are you doing? Like, and I used to take the mick out of people who'd smoke fags and stuff, and I'd be like trying to throw it off them. Like, and if anyone got bullied or something like that, I'd try and jump in and like say, leave them alone. I was kind of one of them people who would like hang around with everyone. And I think a big part of that is sports. Like, sports is massive. Because you can hang around with like the hardest man in the fucking in the area because you play in the same football team as him, you know, and it's like that. It definitely breaks down barriers and stuff. Sorry, guys. It definitely breaks down barriers, but I think a big thing with me, a problem with me was my just the family name, where I'm from, Fairwater, like it's like any other area. It's a good area, but you have your rough patches. And
of course you do.
I grew up in a time where like fighting, music, like there was rapping going on at the time, and like all this type of thing, and it was like the in thing to like be listening to drum and bass packs and rapping over them on tapes, and that kind of evolved then into garage and grime music, and I was massive into it, and again, it's one of them things, I don't know, maybe you've got the areas in Caerphilly, which are rival areas. In Fairwater, you've got Ely and Fairwater, which are two different areas separated by a river. And every Friday to every weekend, the Ely boys would come to Fairwater, or Fairwater go there, and it become like quite religious to you as a kid. You just end up being on the estate, and you want to go and scrap the other boys, and it's like buzz, you know. Yeah. I remember we used to, and if we couldn't fight fit fucking Ely, we'd be going to Tongue and Lysol beating up the posh Radder boys, which is one of them things you'd have to do, something like that. That was just the way of life at the time, and I kind of started to distance myself away from the people I played sports with, and you know, the good people in my life, and when it came to like year 7. From year 7, 8, 9, when it comes to like year 10 and 11, when you're supposed to knuckle down and do your GCSEs and whatnot, it was the total opposite for me, and that's when I kind of started to discovering like cannabis, alcohol, you know, cocaine, and all the other type of drugs that go with it.
Do you think you fell in with the wrong crowd?
Yeah, definitely. But I fell in with the wrong crowd on purpose, like to fit. I purposely went in with this crowd. Yeah. But when you're in it, it's hard to get out there.
Of course it is. Yeah, you're in too deep then.
Yeah. And you look down upon from your friends who are really your friends, and they look at you like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
That's not you.
And then they don't want. But then it gets too much where they just don't want to know anymore because they think you've been radicalized into this hard man. It was just a mad time for me.
Was that? I've heard of one of your podcasts. He was diagnosed with OCD. Is that around the same time?
Yeah. So sorry, I have kind of just skipped on.
No, that's fine. Sorry.
Yeah, like so with this like this home. I was this very homely person. Like I said, I never wanted to leave the house, and I remember being in year 7. We were going to Llangrannog on a school holiday. Yeah. And I remember just like I was very excited for it because like I said, my mum would like, you're not going here. And then when I eventually got my mum to accept that I was going away, I was like, yeah. And I remember just leaving, going on the minibus, going to Llangrannog, and just thinking like, oh fuck, something just dawned on me. I don't know what it was. It was just anxiety, like, and I thought that like either I'm not coming home or my mum and dad are gonna die or something. It was just this weird like worry I had over me, and I got up there and I just started crying on the phone in the office and that, and all my mates are looking at me like, what's the matter, like, and I'm just like, don't look at me. And luckily my grampy my grandpa lives in Command and he got a farm up there, and he come and picked me up.
Oh, nice.
In West Wales. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was happy days. Like, but then when going back to school, I looked like a fucking mug, really, didn't I? So it was like, what the fuck? But that's I, you know, like these little things now, it used to happen all the time, and my mum and dad would say, "Oh yeah, you're right, don't be silly." But I had really bad OCD to the point where like I'd bite things, I'd touch things like a certain amount of times, preferably an even number.
Yeah.
I tap my teeth and things like 4 times. And when I played baseball, I used to chew the bat basically.
Chew a baseball bat.
I picked the bat up, I'm next to the bat, and I'd be kicking it
with a
on the end
baseball
of the
bat.
bat, like
That's bonkers.
Like I said, I played base one. I remember Brad used to throw the Clyde Malibu was backstep. Used to throw the ball when they've swung out, and the guy would be running, and I catch it, and you're meant to tap the base, but I catch it and go, and then do that. Just weird shit like.
Yeah.
It's a compulsive. It's an obsessive compulsive disorder. You have to do it. It's like a tick. It's basically like a fucking tick. And if I didn't do these things, I think something bad would happen to myself or a loved one.
That's
and this
wild.
happened, and it got out of control. Where
It's weird as well. It didn't come from anywhere either. Just all of a
say,
sudden you jumped on a fucking bus to Llangrannog, and all of a sudden you got OCD.
Yeah, is that where it came
It's
from?
when I think it's when I got taken out of a comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think I always probably had it, but I didn't realise. It's not like the Llangrannog trip made me have OCD.
No.
I think that's when I realised I had OCD.
Yeah.
Get you.
You know?
Yeah.
Wild.
But like, you know, this, you know, in hindsight, I look back now and like, I maybe I was just a big fucking baby. Do you see what I mean? Maybe I was just a baby who just didn't want to be away from his parents.
Yeah.
Now I look
Because
back
you're
now,
conditioned, like,
because I feel okay now. There's things that happen, but like, I didn't let myself grow up. I went straight to drugs to tackle my problems. See.
Okay.
So that, but I'll explain that later.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it was that's what it was. Like people with like, I was renowned to be the guy like who'd walk around the lamppost. I'd have to like every pair of trainers I had, mate, they'd be fucked. The tongues on them, like they would be snapping. You know when you like to touch your feet when you're walking, I do that all the time, but I'd have to do it 4 times on air, then 4 on now, and
if you didn't do it, you thought something bad was going to happen.
Yeah, I'd have to do it. Like, I remember getting chased by the police the one time, and I missed the one lamppost. Like, say, like there's the pavement there, and the lampposts are on the edge, isn't they?
Yeah.
I'm running the one time, but I couldn't get around the other one. Like, and I forgot about it, so I had to run back around it to come around it. And the copper was looking at me like, "What the fuck's this guy? What's this guy doing?"
You're trying to get caught.
I said, "I got OCD." It's Cullan.
The cop was like, carry on going.
Yeah, it's fucking
Stop, like.
just mad. But I used to jump over walls, and I'd jump back over it and jump over it again because I didn't jump over it the right way. And this came into my like young adult life, like where I was working in a bar, like, and I had to pour. My mum and dad were coming home from holiday the one time, flying over in the night, and I had to pour a bottle of I had to pour a half a pint of vodka and orange juice and drink it on the job. Otherwise, something was going to happen. And I still get these like scenarios in my head now. They're quite milder now.
Yeah.
But I still get it. It's every day, like I live with it. Like every day, I live with this compulsive disorder where I even now still like I'll take like right angle turns. So say like I come out here now to go, like I'd have to go. But say like I had to go that way, I'd have to do a right angle spin first to go. I always, he's laughing. I'm fucking serious. I'm deadly serious.
It's a fucking serious topic.
It is fucking. Don't laugh.
I noticed when you were drinking, you like square the bottle up so it's facing a certain direction. Little tiny things like that.
Yeah, it's mad. Like my missus says, like I did not clock it for time, but now I see it. It's just.
It's
now
we make a joke of it now. Like literally, like I'll watch you go twirly, like because she knows I'm about to just spin around.
Yeah,
like a weirdo, mate.
So what does it do doing it now, like in your head? Does it just like that just gives you like clarity or?
Yeah. It's like if I don't do it, I don't know what the fuck's gonna. It's like the doctor said to me before, like when they were sat there, and I was on drugs at the time, so I weren't really listening anyway. Like he was like, "What happens if you don't? Why don't you just not do it?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Why don't you know?" I said, "Because I've never fucking done it. Like I don't want to die." I check the chances
if I do that.
Yeah. And like as you can imagine, being in prison and stuff is the worst because your anxiety levels are naturally heightened.
Yeah.
And like when you can't reach your family, you don't know where they are. Like you know, I used to be sat in a jail cell and I'd be dying. I couldn't wait till that phone call at 6 o'clock at night on Soch, just to make sure my family are okay. I used to like, there'd be times where, again, 'cause my mum and dad, they loved their holidays, and I'd be in jail, they'd be abroad in Turkey or whatever, you know, and I'd be sat at 3 a.m. watching BBC 24 on the news just to check there haven't been a plane crash.
Yeah.
Like, just a proper worry wart. Like, that's what I was like.
Yeah.
But that was just one of the things wrong with me. Like I was diagnosed ADHD as well, so I was quite a bit of a hyperactive kid.
Yeah.
My depression comes in waves. I don't know if it's depression or bipolar. To be honest, like, the only two things I've been diagnosed with is severe OCD and ADHD, and I only got diagnosed them in jail when I was clean in Stoke Heath, because every time I've gone, I've been on drugs, and do you know the most frustrating thing about doctors and mental health? You have to tackle your drug problem before we fully assess you. Yeah. And that's what they'd say to me every time. So, we can't tell your problem, Mr. Mace, until you're clean off heroin. So I can't help you, mate. And then I'm leaving frustrated, and then I'm going to smoke more drugs because I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. And it's just a vicious circle.
And did you use drugs to mask the problems in the first place?
100%. So. That's, you know, cannabis was the thing I started smoking, and it helped for a very long time until I abused it to the point where it turned me paranoid. Yeah. It got to the point where I was smoking so much, I was paranoid. Some people, it's like my dad says, like, he used to be angry about me smoking weed, and I'd be like, but Dad, everyone's doing it. Like, he's like, yeah, but you're that 0.1% that will turn schizophrenic on you. Yeah. You know, they say there's that chance of it. And I was that guy, like.
So talking about weed, how old was you when you started that?
I started smoking weed at 15.
Still in school and everything,
yeah. 15, 16, I was smoking weed. Started on the old Rocky, on the bongs with the boys, and my dad would nick some Rocky, you know, Moroccan off his old man, like, you know. And then turn into the weed, like the green, like, you know, and you know, it was strong then. It's like, I feel sorry for some of the kids now who are smoking this weed now in these fucking Cali packs and stuff. There's some strong fucking stuff out there. And I've had people who've messaged me recently, friends who have smoked weed all their lives, and they're saying, like, literally, Cullan, I'm fucking struggling getting off this fucking weed. I feel like I'm doing a heroin detox because there's that much shit in the fucking weed. It's chemically made. It's not natural weed that you're growing. But back then it was strong, and now it's cheese and, like, you know, K2 and all these old strings they had, and like, it was great for, it was, you know, I was a weed head for 2-3 years, bad, like, on it. Got to the point where I'd, like, sell my fucking clothes and that for it, and my PlayStation and all that shit.
Just one to afford it.
I just think I like, once I do something, I go all out in it. And that's in, like, it could be a job, it could be a sport, it could be a drug.
You know, we can see that with the Central Club podcast. You've gone balls deep with that, and it's brilliant. And we love that.
Well, that's it. I think for once I found something.
It works.
It might be okay to do.
But on the flip side, you went balls deep in drugs as well.
Exactly.
So, but I'm guessing weed was just like a pathway drug, was it? It was just.
I say it all the time. People go, "Oh, it's nonsense." You know, them hardcore weed smokers. Oh yeah, it's bullshit, but. 100% weed is a gateway drug. And I don't care what anyone says. A gateway to what? Maybe you just stay on weed. I don't know, but
maybe more weed.
But there's more. You definitely 100%. Your tolerance is getting bigger and bigger. But like, do you know what I used to be? Like, this is what I was with weed. You know, on a Saturday, you've just played rugby for the youth, Now we're going to the pub.
I can't remember
all the boys, a long time ago.
Many moons ago, but
play rugby for the youth, All the boys now, right, we're up the pub. They've all gone half on a 3-for-1 and on a bag of sniff. They're drinking. They're all in the toilet sniffing. I'm in the beer garden smoking weed on my own like a weirdo. Like, that was how much weed. You know, I weren't the young 18-year-old sniffing or 17-year-old sniffing. I was smoking weed. I was the weed head, like, And that's how bad weed got me for a very long time, you know.
So instead of being with the boys, doing what the boys are doing, you'd rather be on your own smoking the weed.
Yeah, and I think that's what kind of, like, my path to cocaine was different to everyone else's. This was just probably being quite normal and just doing it on the weekend with thing. My pathway to cocaine came through weed to heavier downers, aka heroin, and then I was introduced to crack, then cocaine, that side.
Really?
That's how I was introduced to it. So I wasn't introduced to it as in like a social side. I was introduced to it as a treat with my heroin.
Wow. Okay, let's go on to heroin then, if you don't mind. Where did that come from? Was it literally just going, let's try the next best thing?
I like the way you interview, actually, because I get lost and just saying it as it is. It's good.
It's written down and then I'll scribble it.
It's standard. So my father's brother, heroin addict. Now, before I get into it, no, I'm not blaming anyone. I don't blame anyone for anyone taking drugs, because if that's the case, I've ruined a lot of lives. Do you see what I mean? People have smoked drugs with me.
Yeah.
I hope they don't blame me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm not blaming someone because I don't want to be blamed, but I really know that I made my own. I knew what heroin was when I was fucking 10. Like, it's not a good drug to take. Like, you know that, don't you?
Yeah.
So my uncle was a heroin addict, and during the time of, like I said, trying to be a hard man, hanging around with the boys, it's sad to say, but the society we live in, we look up to people who go to prison.
Yeah.
It is. We look up. All right, maybe not. We look up to hard men, don't we? We look up to like, he's hard. He is. Fucking hell.
Hardest man.
Yeah. Whether it's on the pitch or whether it's down the pub or whether it's on the estate.
It's that rep, isn't it? People just want that rep.
And that came into play with me, like hearing stories of my uncle. Now, he went through an accident when he was younger where he ran over a girl and killed her at a very young age. He was 16 at the time. Went to jail for it. Come out a kid, really, still in the head. He was a man, but he went in a kid, come out a kid. I'd say. Yeah. But he came out like notorious for what he'd done in jail, and now being this fucking hard man. Now he's come back to Cardiff. He's obviously built a lot of connections through his fucking 8 years in prison. And then, you know, for the first time ever, I'm seeing lads from London, I'm seeing lads from Bristol, I'm seeing lads from Birmingham come up to my estate with my fucking uncle. And they're selling stuff, they're selling drugs, and I'm like, fucking hell, I'll have a bit of this. Like, you know, because at this time, I am in the mentality of a dickhead council estate boy trying to fucking, right, you know, like, I'm an MC, dissing Ely boys and making music, but I want to rap about stuff I'm seeing. So, like, I'm seeing this now, so I want to rap about this. You just it's so easy to get involved in that life, so easy.
There's your in there, isn't it?
Here's my in. Like, literally, like, I remember my uncle used to give me a couple of bags and say, run down a bus stop and give that to so-and-so. And I thought I was I thought I was 50. I thought I was 50 Cent, mate. Like, that's what it's like.
Big gold chain around your neck.
Yeah, well, not really. You think you got it. But, like, and I remember, like, being at that age, I was still smoking weed at the time, but I remember seeing lumps of crack like that, like, on a table. Like, there's a couple of grand there. Like, I remember seeing brown powder, and I'm like, I didn't know what it was, but I kind of had an idea of it. And there's this smelly smell, like funky smell in the room, and I'm seeing many. I remember the first time I ever seen a gun was with my uncle. So, like, it's just mad. And the thing that like, I didn't think it was heroin is because these people didn't look like heroin addicts. Well, they might have looked like heroin dealers, some of them, because of the clothes they're wearing, but certainly some of them were smoking this stuff, but they don't look like heroin addicts, so I thought it was
the stereotypical heroin addict, the skinny ones.
So what happened was, basically, the odd few people in my area who went from cocaine socially, but then to crack, I tried it one time with the boys, right, and I was like, what the fuck is this, like, and I didn't know what I was looking for, and that was it, like, the end of it. Then my uncle I was there the one time in the flat with a couple of these lads, and it was in my uncle's place, like, and they used to have a big bowl of weed there. I remember they used to have a big bowl of weed, and they just helped themselves. I was like, that's about £400 or £500 there, like, but they're just taking
it's like a sweet bowl.
Like, nick a bud and sell it, like, do you know what I mean? Or smoking myself, like, it's nothing to them. Like, so I'm thinking, fuck, these guys are fucking killing it, and I didn't really, like, think anything. So they were rolling spliffs, but they were lacing it with heroin, but I didn't know. So I ended up trying crack there when they were washing it back the one time. We was washing it from coke to crack, and I remember someone said, do you want to try some? But I remember having it before, so I was like, oh, go on then. I had some, and I don't know what it was, but I just started proper pranging out, like to the point where my anxiety was through the roof.
Right,
I was tapping my feet wouldn't stop moving.
Couldn't stay still.
My legs, and I'm like doing this and all that, and like someone goes, you alright? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I'm worrying now. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm gonna die. And then one of the lads was like, you have some of this. And I was like, no, I don't want no more of that, because it gave me paranoid, because it was getting to the point where weed was starting to make me paranoid.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I don't want no weed in me. Like, that'll make me worse. He's like, no, trust me, have some. And I was like, he's like, it's laced with something. And I was like, what? Heroin? And he was like, yeah, trust me, it won't do. I said, but I'll be addicted to that. He went, no, trust me, you have to smoke it every day for like a week, 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And you have to inject it or smoke it on foil to get addicted. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, oh, fuck it, I'll have it, because it was in a spliff. These guys look, no, I'm all in.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I remember smoking it, like, and I just remember straight away, I just went, and as soon as I inhaled it, like, I was just like, fucking hell.
Different person.
All my problems went away. I was just like,
instantly. Like.
Yeah, my legs stopped jittering. I stopped worrying. I was smiling. Like, all the music in the house was playing again. Like everything was just calm.
Just like
relaxed.
relaxed.
Yeah. It was amazing. And then, like, that was it. And he was like, trust me, you won't be addicted. Wake up tomorrow, you'll be fine. And I was like, but, like, I've said it before, like, yeah, it took me like a year from that moment to be addicted to heroin, but it did have me from the moment.
Did it grabbed you straight away? Did it?
It grabbed me from the moment I took it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know,
Wild.
because from that moment, I always thought, like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't
So
wait to
thinking
try
back
that.
to that
I
one
knew I
moment.
was going to take it again, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like, I've done it now. It's out with a box, Pandora's box. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to try that again. And
It's just chasing the hit again. Like.
Especially when I woke up the next day and I weren't, like, addicted.
you were
they
fine.
say.
Like, yeah.
I'm not physically ill, fucking hell. And I danced, like, when they say you dance with the devil, it's fucking true. I danced with the devil for about a year then.
Did you really?
And there would be times where, like, my uncle, like, I'd say, oh, can you get me some of that? I got many. He'd be like, no, tell a lie. At first, he was like, can you give me some of that? Like, let me have another line of that.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
started trying on the foil, not just off my uncle, but off other people. And I fair dues to my uncle. He'd say, listen, you're not having it, it's fucking, you're mad. But I used to feel like, I was like, but if you're saying you're not having it, you let me have it that one time in front of your mates.
Yeah.
I know he didn't give it to me, but I'm like, you would have beat your mate up if that was the case. You wouldn't have me round you if that's the case.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a form of torture knowing you know what something feels like and it's there in front of you and you just want to try it.
You can't have that.
So it started like that, and then slowly I was taking just like one line, like, and then I'd just sit there and hold it in, and then I'd be buzzing for the night just off that one line, and I just wiped weed off the scene, and I stopped smoking weed.
Yeah.
But I just always wanted to have a bag or something, and then eventually it just got out of hand, and I got addicted to it through that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget the time when I was working, and I started buying it. He introduced me to a dealer.
Okay.
Someone introduced me to a dealer. My uncle found out about it. He gave me a bit of a beating. But
Yeah.
I always thought, you're beating me up just because I haven't bought heroin with you. I used to think that, like,
Yeah.
because he used to beat me up and say, he beat some guy up before. So they used to live in a block of flats, right, around these shops. My uncle used to chill in this flat here, and this guy was a smoker, and I used to go to him and say, could you get me any? Because he wouldn't get me it.
Yeah.
Or if he did get me it, he'd be smoking it himself because he nicked my money.
Yeah.
And then he'd make
yeah.
out the excuse, you're smoking heroin. I'll tell your dad you was asking for heroin, so I'll keep your money.
Yeah.
So I used to go to this guy around the corner, and I used to always ask him, like, can you get me? And he was like, he was actually from, he lived up in Philly, but he was from Bedwas, I think.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, Cullain, mate, I can't meet your fucking uncle will kill me. Because he fucking knew, like, if he found out, he'd kill him and all that.
Yeah.
But I always used to say, he don't care about me, he just fucking wants my money, like, type of thing. And I remember he come round the one time with an umbrella and beat fuck out of me with an umbrella.
Did he?
Yeah, and it was fucking rude, and I felt bad about it. And then eventually after that, my uncle just accepted the fact that I was smoking gear.
Yeah.
And I remember the one time when I got paid on a Friday, and I stayed with him till the Friday. I was meant to be in work on a Monday. I missed work, and I was just flat out for fucking
Days.
And then I remember waking up the one day feeling physically ill. I had no money, and that was like the time where I thought, fuck, I got to fend for myself here.
Yeah.
I've got to start finding ways I can get money because I'm physically ill. That went on for, like, I'd say a year of blagging it, dancing with it, and then, like, my mum and dad were starting to hear things on the estate, like, the people were, like, talking. I heard Cullan's chilling with so-and-so.
Oh, okay, so...
Yeah, like,
because
I
you brought them with
tried to
him.
deny it for, like, about a year and a half. And that was, like, the worst time as well, because that's when people who you've grown up with, you know, girls you've been with and fancied all your life are finding out Cullan, you're a heroin addict.
Yeah.
It's deep, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I stopped going down the pub. I was, like, you'd have the rugby coaches and that who were, like, disowning me, because Fairwater, believe it or not, it's not a fucking, like, It's not accepted for heroin or crack.
No.
It's a cocaine man's fucking area, like, everyone does it, you know. And I actually laugh at that, because these people who call people crackheads are sniffing anyway, which is just the same thing, really. But it's not accepted. Like, over Ely, you might get 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old kids on push bikes selling heroin. You wouldn't have that over Fairwater.
Okay.
It wouldn't happen. Like, it just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And so when they're finding out I'm on heroin and stuff, they were fucking upset. A lot of people upset a lot of people, but you know.
Did they call you on it straight away, your parents, or
when I think like there was once or twice they come back off the weekend like from drinking, they were like, yeah, I know what you're fucking up to, but then they kind of had an intervention with me the one time, and they were like, listen, is this fucking true? Like, I don't think they wanted to believe it for a long time.
No, of course not.
But yeah, we had an intervention, and I admitted it, and I kind of got upset because I tried to use my uncle as an excuse the one time.
Yeah.
And my dad, being his brother, he didn't want to believe in. He was like, "You're fucking full of shit. You know what drugs are." And he was right. You know, he was right. I did. But it just took away all my problems. Like, and that's what I needed. Like, I'll talk about it in a bit, but that it is, you just need to seek that help. If you've got any underlying issues with your mental health or anything, you need to get it seen to. Don't take it into your own hands, because it all started from weed. Weed ended up being the drug that took away my problems, and that opened up to a shit show of
other problems.
Yeah. So I'm guessing with the heroin, then it's probably like once a week, was it? And then once a week wasn't enough, so it went to twice a week. Or did you just go like 7 days a week, bang, straight into it?
No.
Did you go deep?
Yeah, you'd have like a 2 days on it and fuck off. Like, that's what it was. It was every Friday when I finished work. Friday, Saturday, leave it. Friday, Saturday, leave it. Then it turned to like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Then it changed to like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then eventually you get addicted to it. They do say that, like, to get the physical addiction, you have to smoke it for like a week straight. And that's what I was doing. Like, and I think the scary thing about it is when you take it, you don't realise what you're doing. Because it's a painkiller. So you're not deep in it until the next morning when you wake up and you're like, fuck, I've just smoked heroin. I'm actually smoking heroin. Because that's how I was for a long time. Like, I'd have the guilt trip of, oh my God, I'm taking heroin. But then you take the heroin again to stop the worry. And it's just that vicious circle. It's that vicious circle.
So I guess like your parents are in denial, but you was probably in denial as well to say that you was addicted. Thinking, fuck off, I could beat it.
And at that time, at the beginning, my brother was quite young at the time, so like he didn't really have a say in what was going on, and you know, but like when it got to like when my brother turns 18, 19, and people are telling him, yo, your brother was in fucking town the other day asking me for some fucking money. It's embarrassing for him, and me and my brother are scrapping, and I done a lot of bad things, like, you know, like from the second year in, like I done a lot of bad things, like, you know, shoplifting all over fucking South Wales valleys. Fucking, I used to sit at Treforest Uni pretending I was a student, begging people for money. Well, not begging, but like blagging people for money. Like, I had some lonely fucking days, man.
I bet.
Lonely years, really.
But that probably just turned you to drugs more then.
Yeah, well, you're in a rut then, isn't you?
Definitely.
And it turned for like you live for every day then. Like, you're in that rut constantly where... And the more people do this, and the more you think, what am I doing here? I think probably the second or third year, like, I always thought, like, oh no, I won't always be a heroin addict. I can do my rattle like that. But every time I'd done a cluck or a detox off heroin, they got harder and harder. So like the first 2, 3, 4 times I was doing it, it was fine. Like, you know, I could do my mum and dad could like take me to my nan's in England, and I'd get
lock you away to everything.
And then I'd come back, like, and then I'd find it again, and then, you know, my dad's got to chase me for like 3-4 months to track me down, and my dad's a fucking legend, mate. Honestly, the amount of times he's put up with the shit, and the amount of times, like, my mum's a school teacher. She said, like, there'd be times it'd be 3 in. She'd go work in the morning, and she's like, should we just go look for Cullan? And they're driving down Cardiff Docks looking for me and that, you know, and it's just mad things like that.
Does your father speak to his brother now?
yeah, he speaks to him. He's moved up to Newport, like, so when everyone said, oh, I haven't heard of him for a while, like, he's doing well, is he? We're like, well, no news is good news. I think he's up there causing, you know, he's still addicted, like, you know, but it's like my dad used to always say, like, I can understand with him on drugs.
Yeah.
Look what he's been through.
Yeah.
You had fucking everything
On a plate.
Yeah,
Literally.
and like I always say though to people, like, it don't matter what your upbringing is.
No.
It don't matter what, like, you know.
You see it like people. You see it quite often with like, almost like the opposite end of the spectrum, where people are like wealthy background and got everything given, and then they go deep into drugs, like really deep, because I don't know. Again, I don't know why the reason, but like whether it's anxiety or whatever. Like,
like when I was on the drugs, like a lot of the people I'd smoke heroin with were from Rada, Morganstown, Tapswell.
The people you wouldn't
like,
think.
Yeah, people who weren't on my estate. And also you speak to dealers and they'll say like the amount of like accountants or who will rock up in Aston Martins to buy their gear for the week. Fully functioning addicts, you know. And it's crazy. It's worrying, really.
So the accountants could afford it.
Yeah.
Did you pay for it by, I don't know, shoplifting?
So the first, the first 2-3 years was like legitly I was working.
Yeah.
But you just don't get enough, the hours in the day you work. You've got to have a cushy job to be able to handle heroin and work it fully functioning. You've got to have a well paid and the right hours.
Yeah.
Because you can't work 9 to 5 and not be able to smoke heroin. We'll talk about the hard knocks, but when I got a job with the Riva trains from that. I was working with Liam and Jared. We got jobs in the Riva. And I couldn't work all day because I'd start clucking. I used to run off on my break to the docks. I'll tell you, they gave me a float of £50 because I was on the ticket barriers. I fucking spent that straight away down the docks. I went on my break and went and scored 4 fucking wraps of heroin, and it's just like you can't work. You might have many, but then you've got to take it. And I remember I used to work in the San Martin Hotel up by the the City Ground when it first opened.
It's quite new, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was there when it was open. It's about 6-7 years now, but it's newish.
Yeah.
And I remember my uncle used to come, and this is at the time where like I was just accepted. I was a smoker, but I was in work. I couldn't score, but I'm fucking clucking because at the beginning of the addiction, I never really. Like, I learned towards the end that I wake up every morning with a wrap of heroin between my foreskin. I'd make sure, because every morning I'd wake up like you're automatically rattling. You might have had a bag the night before, but when I'd sleep, it was as if my body shut down, and every time I'd wake up from a sleep, I'd be into detox mode. I'd be needing to smoke again. So I learned after a year or so that like I'd make sure I always had a bag, like my fix. In the morning.
Of course.
So during that time, I used to like whatever I had in front of me, I couldn't help but smoke it. So I'd go to work then the next morning, fucking clucking.
Of course,
and I'd get my uncle to fucking, I'd give him the money slightly under the gate at the back where we put all the biffer bins, and he'd go and score. He'd take some of it out, and like I'd be left with a little bit. But that's how it was at that time. And it's just hard to work. Be able to fucking be an addict, it's hard. Like I take my hat off to anyone who is fully functioning. Now, like, don't get it wrong. Like I think I was quite. People would say like, you didn't look like a smoker, and I think that's how I used to make a lot of money, blagging people, pretending to be a student and stuff. But even looking back now, I was fucked. But I weren't like a typical homeless smoker. No. I had nice clothes on my back and brushed my teeth type of thing. But after I soon realised like I'm not going to work again. That's when I kind of started going to like Newport City Centre, Cardiff City Centre with the old bus station, up to Treforest, up to Brecon. And I used to pretend I lost my ticket and I need to get home, and I used to make like £200-400 a day.
Did you really?
Yeah. People giving me £10. Like I'd done it a lot in Cardiff to start, but then it soon became apparent that people were clocking what I was doing. And people who were taking their daily route home. I was in the paper the one time. They didn't have my name or face, but they were like well-spoken man and woman. Because I used to bring my ex with me as well, like well-spoken man and woman, blagging people for money. Like don't give him the money type of thing. But that was the time I never ever went to prison. I never went to prison for any of them times because I actually weren't committing like a crime. I know it's like blagging type of thing. And
is that a crime really though? No, on paper,
I think the police try and move on beggars off the streets. But it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fraud. I don't know. But I never got done for anything.
Yeah.
So that was calm. It was only the last half of my addiction, which was the most reckless, really.
Yeah.
Where I started to learn the craft of shoplifting.
I'm with you.
If it's a craft, like, you know, but I made a lot of money off it.
Yeah.
Been all over the country. And I've had some hairy moments.
I bet.
You know, I've had hit and runs. I've had I've been rammed off the road with thousands and thousands of pounds in the car, and you know, Taunton police coming to chase me in Somerset Avon over the bridge, and yeah, I've had some crazy times.
I bet. Before we get there, you mentioned School of Hard Knocks. So obviously we got rugby backgrounds.
Yeah.
You mentioned you used to play rugby. How did you manage to get onto School of Hard Knocks?
Yeah, so it was my second sentence I ever done. It was 2015. So my first sentence I done Stoke prison. I thought, I'm never going to prison ever again. I'm done with prison.
Was that for shoplifting or?
Yeah. They actually gave me 12 months for shoplifting, and everyone was like, what the fuck? Like, 4 weeks in it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Where I was hitting so much, and also, don't forget, you get 9 lives, don't you, before you go to prison? You have court, you have suspended sentences, you have tags.
Community service.
They threw the book at me as an example, because I had a suspended sentence already. And so I done that, and then I thought that was it. I ended up fucking shoplifting again and getting another habit.
How'd you get back into that? How come it came around again? Just to addiction again. You just needed money and whatever else.
Yeah. I thought I learnt my lesson. Yeah. But the problem was because I never handed myself in to get caught. I was taken away. Yeah. By the police. They caught me off guard. Yeah. So even though I didn't want to go back to that life, I always wanted to have that one more bag. Yeah. That one seance type of thing, see you later type of thing. Yeah. So I said, I'm only going to have it when I get out. The first day I get out, I'm going to have a smoke, and then that's me done. But it just never works like that. You can never just have
again, it starts the cycle again.
Yeah. It was game over from the moment I got out and touched it. In the Vale Hotel, my ex-lover, Jodie, if she's watching, Martha girl, she fucking picked me up, took me to the Vale. She said, we're going to the Vale. I said, not yet. We're going to Riverside first.
I got a job to do.
And yeah, she put up with hell with me, fair play. But straight away back into it. So then it was only, and that's the thing as well. Once my dad used to say, it's getting shorter to get out, but the sentences are getting longer, and that's what happened. For the first one, I was out for 6 months, then 4 months, then 5 months, and 3, and the sentences were getting longer. So, so then I went back again, and then this time I was in Cardiff. I stayed in Cardiff, but. Give you a backstory. I was a massive fan of the School of Hard Knocks. I remember the Croydon and the Tottenham one after the London riots with Heavy D, who died off Storage Wars. Remember Heavy D?
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Oh, that's right.
He started on School of Hard Knocks, didn't he?
So, okay.
Yeah, he was a funny guy. I watched the Liverpool, the Glasgow, and then I come out of prison, and my probation officer and my job seekers worker were like, there's something on TV called the School of Hard Knocks. They're coming down. Would you like to be involved? I was like, fuck off. You're what, the actual School of Hard Knocks?
You're winding me up.
Yeah, this is like the time of postcode lottery and all. Like, so I'm like, fucking, no postcode lottery. Like, taking a piss and I was like, no way, you're lying. And they were like, yeah. So I was on it straight away.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And my mate, he was a smoker as well. I said, come and do this for me. Trust me. Because we used to laugh at Scott Quinnell. Because I remember he was one of the London ones where, you know, when the guy's on the pads, he's like, give me the fucking ball. We used to always say that as a joke anyway. Give me the fucking ball. I don't know why. So like it was like, I'm definitely doing it. I was invested in it, and again, when I want to do something, I do it, and that was the best. I was still addicted at the time, but it was the best time of my life. So I came out, like I said, first day smoking again, back on the drugs. But this came then, and I thought, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fucking do this. Yeah. And you know what? It was the best 10 weeks of my life. I had some great fucking times. Although I was still addicted at the time, we actually went to Litchfield Army Barracks up there, and I remember like fucking I had a bad heroin habit, and I was like, how the fuck am I going to survive? So I had to go and buy Subutex, which is they're a big commodity in prison, but they're basically a substitute to heroin. They're tablets.
Oh, okay. Right.
Like Oxycontin in America, they're these tablets.
Yeah.
And basically, if you haven't got heroin, if you sniff, they're meant to take them under your tongue, but if you sniff them, abuse them, it stops you from clucking. Right. So I had a fucking ass full of fucking Subutex. I had about fucking 40 Subutex. I had Tramadols, all sorts. And the dogs with the guns in the army barracks searching us, and I've got fucking drugs up there. And it's funny
I bet you shit yourself.
on the I did. But on the TV program, right? It's funny because they come in the one time. You've got the guy who's like, right, open 5 o'clock, and there's the one guy. When we were there was this guy Joey there who was there, and I said, do you want to set me? And because he was from prison and that.
Yeah.
It's because they're all like some
they are,
prison.
Yeah.
He's like, what, you got them? I said, yeah, do you want to send me? He's never taken them before, he said, but he had one. And then when he opened the door, he went, right, open up, get up. And when he opened it and they turned the lights to the camera, that Joe's bed's done. He sat on the bed all night, when he already he must have been up all night. Like, do you know what I mean? Wired. And it was just a little inside joke between us. Yeah, it was fucking great. Like, do you know what? Yeah. Scott Quinnell, what a fucking legend. Will Greenwood, top man.
Yeah.
Met some great people. At that time, I actually speak to Scott now. Like, I've been trying to get him on the podcast.
He'd be good, but
he would be good. Yeah, like he's, but he like we were talking just before then about some of these people who ask for money, and I don't believe in all that. Like, but I think anyone who got like an agent, I don't even bother with, because I just think they're just like asking for money themselves.
Well, they got to pay the agent, haven't they? So,
but if he is genuine about the School of Hard Knocks and he did believe in that charity, then he should come on the podcast.
He should do, definitely.
Call him out.
Yeah. But it was, what a time. We were the first. Do you know what? We actually done Wales proud, I think, because we were the first School of Hard Knocks to actually win against.
That's right.
We were unbeaten as well.
Class.
We drew the one game, right? But
still unbeaten.
I don't know where it is now. I would actually like to go back and watch that.
It's probably on YouTube or something like that.
Nuts, but it's hard. It was on my Sky, any time, but they've updated Sky now.
Yeah.
But like, I was really skinny in that, and I was still on heroin at the time, obviously. From that, we got a job with the Riva Trains, and what happened was, so I was really proud of that as well, because like, out of not just the people like on the School of Hard Knocks, because at the end, They had to try and make out like everyone had a job.
Yeah.
But like Matthew Rutter Taffy, I don't know if you know who that is. He plays up in fucking Potty Clean Boy and Badger. All them lads now, they were working in the market on the fruit store, like, and they're going, I've got a job. You've always had that job anyway. But like, they were trying to contact me, but I actually seen them all having like a coffee the one time, like, because what happened was the show finished. But I got the job, but then it wouldn't come out for another couple of months.
Of course, yeah.
By the time it come out to that time where they were about to film where everyone is, I already got sacked from Arriva. So they were like, "What? Can you explain to everyone what you're doing?" And I just didn't show up, like.
Yeah.
But what happened was, I had an habit. The World Cup was coming. What year was the World? So it was 2016. Was it 2016, 2017? The next World Cup, Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, it was 20.
So what was the one we just had then? Was it 2019?
2019. Yeah, so it would have been
2015.
2015, 2016.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you weren't a World Cup kit then. Maybe it was an autumn.
Lions or something like that, maybe.
No, there was a new Welsh jersey. It was the one with the gold ribbon at the time. I think it was the gold ribbon.
that one, yeah.
I think it was
Admiral
that one.
on
It
the
might
front.
have been before, yeah. But it was a new... Basically, what happened was, I was on the ticket barriers. So, remember Cardiff train station? You got the spar in the corner?
Yeah.
I was on that. I was on there with the lift going. I used to be on that barrier. Some guy by Upper Crust, the coffee shop. There's a bag there, and in the bag there's a brand new tablet and the fucking new Welsh rugby jersey, and it's been left there. So I thought, fucking hell, okay, why not? Well, fucking so and so took fucking 2 tops from you last week. What it was up at the phone. I'm gonna leave this by the barrier. If no one comes through, I'm taking it.
I'm having it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's there. If they come back, it's there.
Finders keepers.
It's yours. Yes, yeah, mate. You know.
Yeah, keeping it safe.
So I left it there, and then I got told to go on break. So I went on my break, and at the time, Burger King was still across the road. So I'm sat in Burger King eating now, watching my barrier. As I'm watching like that, I see my main station manager and this little fucking grass Jobsworth guy, like looking over, like pointing at me like that. So I finished my dinner. I goes back in. He goes, "What's this?" And he was holding the bag. I went, "Oh, it's been here. It's been left outside the coffee shop." I said, you know, if anyone comes, you see her. He went, "Well, we've been calling on the tannoy for the last 20 minutes. Has anyone seen a bag?" This guy from the Swansea line's come back with his kid for it.
Yeah.
I went, "Well, I've been on break for the last half hour.
Am I supposed to know?
I'm 10 minutes out." Yeah. Like, no, I'm not trying to blag you guys. This is what happened.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I would have took it home, but if he come, I would have give it.
Exactly.
So I'm like, well, no, I fucking...
on break.
And he's like, no, this ain't happening. He said, you should have put it in Lost and Found. And you know what? They didn't even show me where Lost and Found was.
Oh, never?
Never show me. So I went, well, I didn't even know where that was. He went, oh no, this is ridiculous. This is on high terror threat. At the time, they were on high terror threat for some reason. And I'm in Cardiff train station leaving bags. So they didn't look at me like dodge. I get that. They were like, right. So I seen the rest of the day out, and I just knew something was up. And I come in the next day, and he went, just let you know, you're suspended with pay. You've got a disciplinary in a month. And you know what? There was my mum and dad, they were so proud.
I bet.
You can imagine. I've been an admin for 6 years.
Like,
I've just done well on the School of Hard Knocks. I've got a job with the Reeve everywhere. Because my mum and dad were unsure about me doing the Hard Knocks. They didn't want to make me. They didn't want me to be embarrassed. Like, you know? They know I'm a heroin. They didn't want, and that was quite a thing at the time as well. So, they actually got a job from it. They were like, fair play. You actually done something.
He's worked hard,
doing well. Yeah. And there was some lonely times lying in that uniform, and my dad dropped me to work when I had to I weren't even going to work.
You couldn't tell him?
Literally, right? No, I didn't tell him. So for a month, I'm suspended, and he thinks I'm going to work. So he dropped me into work, so I weren't driving.
Yeah.
So I'd iron my fucking clothes, I'd get changed like that. There's the doors there, he fucking dropped me. I'm like, nice one, Dad, see you later. Then he'd walk off, I'd go... And I'd walk off that way and fuck off. And I could see some of the station guys as well. You'd see some of the station guys like, is that fucking Cullan with his uniform? I swear he's been suspended. I felt like a fucking weirdo, mate. And I felt lonely, but I just didn't want to tell my dad.
Didn't want to let him down,
No.
did you?
And then the one time, I fucking come home to my dad kicking off, what the fuck's this? Letter, obviously, they've had to send out.
Yeah.
And then when I went to the actual disciplinary, the woman started crying her eyes out. She was like, I watched you on the School of Hard Knocks, and you was really fantastic, but I have to do this. Then they just fucked me off, basically. The rep guy union came in, to be honest with you, you ain't got a leg to stand on. It's on CCTV. I said, but I didn't take it.
Yeah.
I just left it in. He went, I know, but he said, I was gutted. I was gutted. And then I seen Nelly, I seen fucking Quinell, I seen... Ken Cohen, the owner of the charity School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
They were all down Mill Lane. They were like, Cullan, come here. And I was like, hey, I'll be back now. I just done a runner, cause I was just so embarrassed to see these people, you know.
Yeah.
But now, I've spoken to Scott. I speaks to Paul Barros. I don't know if you know Paul. Paul Barros is the sports psychologist guy.
Yeah.
He's worked with all the Olympians and he was on the show and. He actually sussed me out. It's like,
straight away.
Like everyone was like, "You still think like I've said I'm clean, innit?" Yeah. This guy knew straight away. And on the show, he says, "Cullan, this is because he always used to like used to have like Phil Mitchell on the London ones, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
On ours, we had what's his name, Welsh commentator,
Eddie Butler.
We had Butler, innit?
Yeah.
And it's mad hearing him say Cullan, when he did the narrate because they went out. Cullen's suddenly lost interest in so and so, and I was just lying on the pads that one day. That was because I was clucking.
Yeah.
And people don't know it. They're like, why did you lose interest? I was clucking that morning. That fucking Paul Barros comes over and then he does his little narrating. He's like, Cullan is an enigma. Cullan is incredibly charming, incredibly intelligent, but I think he's been using this charming intelligence to scam him and other people for a very long time. And he was bang on because I was just blagging him all. I was just swinging it.
Yeah.
But I soaked up that time, and it was one of the best
experiences
of my life.
Class.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Liam McKay, my mate, he took full advantage of that show, and he's worked with the charity for so long ever since.
Yeah.
I don't think he's here no more. But yeah, what an experience School of Hard Knocks was.
I bet. Yeah. Did that change you at all then?
I think it's built my character in some,
I think it has,
some
hasn't
ways.
it?
Yeah. Definitely, 100%. And like I said, I lived with some of the things I was taught there. Now in the Central Club, I've got my Hard Knocks jersey there signed by 2 messages from Will and Scott. And do you know what Scott said to me? He said, at the end, he went, "Listen, boy." We talked. He was like, "If I ever fucking see you on a match day in City Centre at Cardiff, I know what you're fucking doing. I'll fucking pan your fucking head in." He's like, he knew I was blagging people for many years before, and he was like, "If I ever see you in fucking town, I'll fucking cave your fucking head in." I was like, "Yeah, nice guy."
All right, but
he's fucking an animal. He is.
Yeah.
Like we did like a fucking CrossFit, like a rummy with him and his brother.
Yeah.
His brother's fucking ripped.
Craig.
Yeah, Craig. Like I know he was never as talented, but he's fucking big. But
he's a big guy.
Different gravy, mate.
Yeah. All of Quinnell's the same. The younger brother, Gavin Quinnell, I think.
Yeah, there's a younger one.
He's fucking huge as well.
Yeah, but like me and my, like, I'm trying to speak about Scott the other day, but like, they're smashing in his missus. They got that candle business, haven't they? The Cullan candles. He said, he went up there, he said, it's just a fucking farmhouse. Yeah. They've got their own candle factory.
Filled.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
Smashing it.
Fair play.
Fucking easy. So after that then, what happened? Did we go back into prison?
Yeah, I was quite depressed really after that happened. Went back to shoplifting and yeah, you know, fucking, I had some good runs with the facts. You know, I had some good runs.
There's money to be made. Like.
No, there was money to be made, yeah, but you know, a few times, you know, Wales Online, who's this man?
Yeah.
Bay the Community, where I've just smashed the fucking post office for all their Yankee candles, and they're like, who's this man?
Yeah.
You know, like community pages and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a few fucking mad ones, like, you know.
And that's literally all just to pay for the drugs?
Yeah, literally. Everything I'd done was just to fund my addiction. Like, I'm not a bad guy. Like, I'm
no, we
really
can see
not.
that. We can see that straight away. As soon as you meet you can see you're not...
I'm not. Never been one to be a hard man.
No.
Just
super honest and
just a nice guy, like I try to be.
Yeah.
You bump a few tables. Like,
yeah.
But do you know what? I goes mad with the lads. Like, that Selby fucking... I said, you meant to be good with your fucking hand. You hit my mic over 4 times. I feel for him now. But yeah, no, like, yeah, addiction, like, is fucking serious. And I genuinely am, like, passionate. And I just don't think that, like, certain crimes shouldn't, if it's to do with addiction, I just don't think it should be a jailable offence. Unless you've raped someone or nonned someone off or murdered someone. Bit different. But I think for petty crimes like shoplifting, there's got to be another way out.
Do you think they should be helping that person instead?
Yeah.
Instead of just punishing them and saying, "Oh, fuck."
It made me worse. It made me, like, you know, go do more crime. Like,
watch this, like.
I picked up habits in jail. I picked up proper full-on heroin habits in jail. Yeah.
Probably got worse in jail than you did outside.
100%. And there's a lot of people out there who go to jail and come out with habits, whether it's heroin, spice, steroids, methadone.
It's rife in it. Like.
It happened.
It's wild, isn't it? Like, you say, it's not correction, is it? It's not how it should be. Like, you say that our prisons are like jam-packed and fucking can't afford this, that and the other, but they're just fucking chucking anybody in there, not even trying to help them, not even trying to move people into you know, the right space or right place. They just fucking lock them away and hope their problems go away. It's just not going to happen.
And you know what, like, okay, America is like, we're nothing compared to America, but you know, Wales, like, it's nothing compared to England. England's fucking dread.
It's worse again.
Dread. And the corruption in the jails, like the people bringing stuff in, like the officers and that. The amount of screws who are shagging the inmates and that. Park's pretty bad for it.
Is it really?
The private jail. A lot of fucking girls up there rooting the fucking inmates. It's just, I don't know, I think social media has been a big part of it, but it's like, it's blurred the lines between us and them, like, because anyone's reachable via social media. And you know, I come out of prison and now I just interviewed a prison officer and I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? But it did, you know. And you leave prison, like, and you go on Facebook. You know, back in the day, if you had a prison officer, man or woman, you respect them, they're a prison officer, you probably wouldn't see them outside, and you know, they're a mystery to you. Same as teachers. Now, whether it's in schools, whether it's in any type of work, right? When you leave that professional place, you could type in that person's name on Facebook, and straight away that professional side is gone. You're just like, I know you, I know what you talk, and it's just like it's gone, like everything, and it's weird. Like, I just find it weird.
It's weird now. There's no control there at all anymore.
No.
It's just like, as humans getting more and more exposed, just because everybody chooses to put their whole life on social media. That's just the way it is. So, like, it's just gonna happen, isn't it? Everybody gets found out.
Like a lot of them, like, I think, like what I've learned now in this professional world of, like, with Kaleidoscope and speaking into people. Like, a lot of them will use their first name and probably change their surname. Or
change a letter.
That's what they do.
If you teach
it's like a must-have.
Stuff
we keep saying, though, is what you see on social media is not the real world.
It's not what you get. Like,
it's not as if.
Fucking, you know what, like,
it's like a fabricated.
Well, what I wanted to do is I wanted to do my Instagram. What I wanted to do is I wanted to start taking photos of my lowest points.
Instead
of my highest points.
Yeah.
Because I think it might have been your one I watched. I might have watched one of your podcasts when you was talking about like what you see on Instagram.
We did, yeah.
You talk about like, you drive a fucking truck to work.
That's
you
me,
say,
yeah,
mornings,
yeah.
but really you'll see me on a beach in wherever.
Exactly that.
And it is fucking true, mate.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It's
We do every Wednesday. Somebody takes over our
just
social
gonna say,
media
yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's just a day in the life of us.
Just like a typical day, like standard.
So like you saw me putting my stab vest on going to work, boring as fuck, but
you what? Stab vest?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
because I'm a bailiff.
Are you still doing that? Are you?
Yeah, still doing it. Yeah, for my sins, mate.
Fucking mad.
Yeah. So yeah, it was putting a stab vest on, but I wouldn't put that on social media normally.
No.
It normally be a picture of my missus and my son or something like that. But
You'll have to do a day for us. You'll have to do a day on socials for us. Can you do that?
And what do I do?
Just film your day, like whatever goes on.
Oh, I'd love
good
to.
shit.
yeah.
Upside
So
down.
we give you the login.
Give
and
you a
just,
guest, like just,
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
What you do actually. Yeah. See, again, it's that you're bringing that personal.
just humanises everything.
Well, basically,
Just reality,
Well, we
like.
were just talking about the negative side. It can be used as a positive, can't
Yeah,
it?
100%.
Definitely,
You
Yeah.
can use that personal side to say, "Hey, we are human."
We're all
we are.
fucking
yeah.
normal, like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Do you know what? Like I said, interviewing a prison officer the other day was fucking crazy.
I bet.
Because we've had like us and them mentality.
Yeah.
Where
Of course.
it's like, fucking hell, go. You know what I mean? But it was so nice reaching out to him. And
Yeah.
I bet it was for you.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh,
right.
mate.
That's good where social media does expose everything because it just breaks down those barriers. Like it makes
Yeah.
people who wouldn't
Yeah.
normally talk, and it makes people, you know,
Exactly,
you
yeah.
have that awkward conversation, but then you move on from it, and then you get past it, and yeah,
on.
it's really good, really interesting.
Fuck it, let's get back to you, Cal.
Sorry, yeah, hijacking. This was just a chat.
It's nice. I like. Do you know what? It's nice sometimes to just let it all out.
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
you
just-
fucking
I bet
have
it is,
so
mate.
much.
For us, it's fucking,
Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing, mate. It's
Glad I can be at service.
perfect. One question, you might think it's a little bit fucking stupid, but like whenever I think of heroin and crack and everything, I think of Pulp Fiction. Did you see the bad side of drugs? Did anything like that
Yeah.
happen in front of you? Or
Yeah. Fucking hell.
show how sheltered I
I've
am.
seen people who've been on the verge of their legs being amputated, their arms being amputated
Fucking
just
hell.
because of the where they're digging in the same leg, or they've run out of veins and they're using their fucking toes, and I've seen that. I'm one for like squeezing spots, and I used to love, like, there was this one guy I used to actually squeeze his boil for him. It's fucking disgusting now looking at it. But
Looking back, thinking, what the
yeah,
fuck?
but like,
Talk
I
about
don't
dark
know if
days.
you've seen a photo on my Instagram, like where I was doing a detox and like I'm lying there and I've got all scabs all over me.
Right.
I used to, with my OCD, I used to pick a lot in the mirror, especially
course.
after crack.
Yeah.
And my body used to, like, where I'd be out every single day walking. Before I was shoplifting, I used to do this begging and I used to walk around everywhere. I was like that.
Yeah.
And they would never heal my scabs
Yeah.
because all day I'd be walking, they'd be sweating. I'd go in the night, then I'd
Pick 'em all
repop
off,
them.
like, yeah.
And then over the night they start to slowly scab up. Then I'm walking again, this sweating. It was horrible.
Yeah, it's
So like I did see the dirty side. If you want to talk about deaths, two people I know who have OD'd in the same flat, and I was the last person to be seen. Well, I was one of the last people to see the one. We actually had a falling out. The man was Carl, great guy. Just went down the wrong road for a very long time. Drinker,
Yeah.
the odd heroin now and then, but drink was his main thing. He was actually scared. He was getting paid that night, his like DLA or whatever benefits.
Yeah.
But the flat he was staying in, there was loads of people there, and he was worried they were going to nick his money off him.
Right. Okay.
So what he asked me was, "Cole, could you find me a flat, please, for tonight to stay? Because I don't want him taking my money," type of thing.
Oh.
And he knew that I knew like a lot, like up there or any flat available with it, because I always made a lot of money and I was always on my own. I wouldn't roll with other people, so I don't trust anyone.
Yeah.
And I made good money. I always had drugs, so people would always like open their door for me to come in. I always had go-to flats, so he was like, "Please, kid." So I gave him this one flat. This girl, Nicola, she's dead now as well from it. Nicola, she was a Valley girl, Ebervale way. There's a lot of Valley people who obviously on drugs moved to Cardiff.
Of course,
she had a flat up in Fairwater, and I took him there, and we had a good night. We were all sat there drinking, and we actually said what we'll do is we'll all put our phone in the middle. We were using a phone play the music. We'll all choose a song each from our childhood. You tell me why you like this song, and it was really nice. And he even said, "This is the best night I've had in a long time." This is what he said to me. He's a bit of a vulnerable guy. But yeah, like just like he got kids and it was still about, and you know they're devil about it, like, but he was just fucked. And long story short, what happened was then Nicola, who I let him stay with, was like, yeah, he's fine here, he's fine, let him stay. I went upstairs in the flat with the other girl who was there, who lived above. I started getting knocks on the door half hour later, and it was Carl, and he was like, "What, you got any more stuff?" I was like, "No, I haven't, mate." He was like, "Oh, please." I was like, "Listen, fuck off. I've gone I'm with this girl. Fuck off.
Leave me be.
I've got you a fucking flat downstairs. Stay there."
Yeah.
And he did. And he was kind of moaning and whatever. I said, "Hang on a minute. Ain't you getting paid 12 o'clock tonight anyway? Why are you asking me for money? I've looked after you. I've got you a place. Just fuck off."
Yeah.
And he kept on knocking the door. So I just said, "You know what? I'm going." I've left. He started following me outside. I said, "Listen, get the fuck away from me before I fucking beat you up."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, is it? And talking about me spinning and all that, he said, "Oh, go and do some fucking backflips, you weirdo." Because like, you know, when I used to smoke crack, I used to like spin around and I like, go and do some backflips, you weirdo. That's what he said to me, and that's quite like cheeky to me. It sounds crazy. I just said, "You know what? I fucking get away from me, you fucking idiot. Go and die." That's what I said to him.
Yeah.
The next day, I'm down my mate's Kevin, who's friends with this Nicola. The other one who's from Caerphilly, and he was like, "Oh, but the one who got beat up by my uncle." He goes, "Have you heard of Carl?" And I went, "Oh, don't talk to me about Carl. He's a fucking idiot. I let him stay at Nicola's last night." He went, "No, Carl, he's fucking dead. He's dead. He's fucking dead in Nicola's." So I don't know what the fuck. They found him black and blue in her bedroom, apparently. When they said that, I thought he was beat up black and blue, but apparently he went and got his fucking money he was paid at 3 a.m. and went and scored and went and fucking injected and OD'd.
Oh fuck, it's sad.
It's sad, like, there's a few like that, like where of people I've been like, wow, I'm like one of the last people they've seen, and I feel like, could I have done anything better or different to have changed?
You can always question yourself, can't you?
Yeah. Well, the one which really stands in my fucking mind, because I actually seen the body, was I was begging in town, and do you know the Kingsway building?
No, I don't know.
You know where the mega buses stop?
Yeah.
The Hilton Hotel. So the Hilton Hotel's here.
Yeah.
And then you've got the big Capitol Tower. Across the road, you've got the Kingsway building. Just by where, like, across the road from and the tunnel's there then to go to Winter Wonderland. So the Kingsway building was there, and I was right by there waiting for people to come from the megabus from London to... Oh, I've got any money. I'm trying to get back to London. I used to put accents on and all. I was quite good at it. And I was there making money, and I was trying to make 100 quid. I was on like 60 quid. I was here trying to make 100 quid.
Yeah.
And it was like a Thursday night, student night. All the uni kids are coming from Catades up the tunnel to Live Lounge. So I was trying to beat both traffic and get as much money as I could. This I was there for ages. It was really eerily quiet where I was. It was weird, but now looking back at it, like, I'm like, why didn't I look up there? And you know when something happens, and you're like, why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
I do that now, thinking of it. But I bumped into this one girl, and she was like, well, how much you want? What you want? She gave me some money. She gave me like 15 quid. And then she went, I'm going to Live Lounge. She went to Live Lounge. I'm still asking. Well, she comes back. She's like, they wouldn't let me in Live Lounge. Why don't you just come back to my house instead? Stay at mine. Okay. I'm like, no, fit girl. As I was like, yeah. You know, I used to meet mad girls and I like. And she was like, oh, come back to mine. I was like, no, I've got to go. I've got to go work in the morning. She was like, right, I'm not leaving until you get this extra 20 quid. It was like, don't be silly. She was like, no, come with me. We'll walk down to by Oceana. So we're by the Kingsway, and she starts holding me, and she's like asking me for money. When we got to buy the new theatre by Prism and I, someone gave us 20 quid. I went, right, I'm going out now. She went, no, come to mine. I said, no, I'm going. She went, all right, I'm going to walk you back. So we're here. We've gone down, the Hilton's here. We've gone all the way down to the new theatre by Oceana. I said, I'm going now. So we walked back down the back path by Boulevard and where Winter Wonderland's here. And as we've just done a block around, as we've come back around here to the front of where we originally was, I was walking and she was holding my hand like we was just walking. I was going to get a taxi by the Hilton, by the Rank. And there was just a pile of blood where I was standing 5 minutes before. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I've looked like that, and there was a man, silver shaved head, but it was like silver on the side. He had a really puffy jacket on, and he had these luminous green fucking gloves on. I remembered it. They were like skeleton gloves, but they were luminous green.
Yeah.
He had this puffy silver coat on. His legs were twisted over here.
Yeah.
And his body was there with his arms both sides.
Yeah.
And his face was like, they weren't like that. He was like planted, but his face was like, it was flat. It was like you could only see half his head.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's been beat up, but he's dead. Like, he's not moving. Like, I know there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
And she's like, so check his pulse. So I check his pulse. I was like, yeah, check his pulse. She looked up, and like, I'll never forget it. She looked up to me. She was like his pulse was gone. I was like, oh my God, this guy's dead. I'm wanted at the time. I was always wanted for something, but I was wanted at the time. I was like, I ain't staying here with this dead body. No. And these other students then were coming up, because it was loads of, the other students started coming up then, and they were like, oh my God, what's going on here? And they were like, turn him over. And as soon as they turned his body over, I ran. I ran to the Hilton Hotel, and I said, listen, I don't want to be here, but there's a dead body over there. And the next day, 54-year-old man jumped to his death. A man jumped off the building where I was there for like 2.5 hours. Like, that guy was probably waiting for me to leave.
Yeah.
I was in that position where he died. I was there for 2.5 hours begging for money. She took me round the loop. We've come back and he's there.
Within minutes.
Yeah, within minutes. Like, this guy's here on the floor, like brown bread. And like, he did not have a face. His face was planted. There was just blood everywhere. I knew he was dead, but I wasn't touching him. And
no.
like, not his face, but like his head and the side of it, like,
it just
sticks really bad.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're just around that shit. Like, it's like that. Do you know about that Harry Baker murder that happened in St. Mellons? It happened in Barry. They found him in the docks.
Okay.
Right.
The young lad, they found him. It was about drugs. They found him in Barry docks in the cabins type of thing, and that really hit home to me as well, because a few people were caught up in that murder that didn't actually commit the murder, but they were there on the night, and they were just basically druggies. They were users, so to speak, who basically, I've been there myself, where like I'm buying drugs off someone, and like a Londoner might come in and go, another dealer will come in and say, listen, buy all the drugs off him, let him come, let us rob him, and we'll give you this for free. That's like a natural, that's quite like a common thing that happens in the drug game. You will get a user to set someone up to rob them for their stuff to sell it. And that's all that's happened with this guy. These boys have said, yo, you ring so-and-so, get him. And then there's a boy who I know, Pacmo, who I know he's not a murderer, but he is now on a life sentence for murder for that Harry Baker, and that's to do with drugs. I don't think he's a murderer, and I don't think he was a bad person. He got caught up in something. Just associated. And I looked at that as another thing. Like, I got out very early. My uncle, you know, if you look at him, he's got a scar there, massive one there, massive one here, one in his arm. Well, he's been close to death a few times with machetes and knife attacks. And this day and age now as well, these kids, not just the kids, but like, you know, the people selling drugs, the people who take drugs, the blades they're walking around with is fucking horrific. Scary. And it's dangerous. So like, I count myself very, very lucky, you know. You know, I've inflicted pain and you know, on people myself, not proud of it, like, but yeah, you wouldn't see me rolling around with knives and shit like it's
a different world these days, but but I think that's progressed nicely on to you've beaten it. You're out the other side. Tell us what made you first of all realise, fuck, I've got to beat this, I've got to come off completely, and what did you do to come off it?
The death of my close friend and almost the death of myself is what made me realise. Like I said, I've done rehab in Abertillery. I had to do a runner from there because it just weren't my cup of tea. Like, it was very culty, religious. Also worth my time, clearly. But you know, I've done the rehabs, done the hospitals, done all that stuff. But this time, I just knew it was different because my body was deteriorating anyway. It was turning to 10 years I was on the drugs, and it's not like I'm injecting. Because it actually probably is better, but it's not like I'm injecting. I'm smoking, so you know, my lungs are fucked. I'm smoking crack, heroin, cigarettes, and everything else. Like everything. You know, towards the end as well, I was taking Xanax and whatever else, and I was drinking them Orange Boom.
Oh fucking hell!
8.5.
The strong ones.
Yeah, I was
extra or something.
I was booting them down me like they were fucking. And that's when I knew it was bad, because I never used to drink on drugs. And that was like it for me. So my co-defendant, who I spent the last 3 to 4 years traveling the country shoplifting with passed away. And funny enough, the very same next day, I went to hospital with sepsis and pneumonia.
Fucking
I
hell.
went to Landoc, said I had stabbing pains in my back, and they're
Yeah.
really fucking hurting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just an infection. We'll give you some antibiotics. They jogged me on Landoc.
Yeah.
Then the next day, or that night, I woke up. And it was like it was catching.
Yeah.
It was catching, but not just this time. It weren't just catching. This time I couldn't breathe.
Take your
Like
breath.
I literally couldn't fucking breathe. And I remember getting out into my bed and like not opening my mum and dad, started saying, "I can't breathe." And that's when the panic kicks in. Then where you think.
That's it.
You're on your way out.
It's done.
Yeah.
And they're going, don't panic. I'm going, no, I can't do it. I'm going to do it. And they rang the ambulance and I just passed out. And then I remember waking up with an oxygen mask on me, going over a bump. It kind of like lifted me up.
Yeah.
But I was still in agony.
Yeah.
And they went there and they were rushing me. And I was like, what's the matter? Couldn't breathe. Every time they took the mask off, I thought I was going to die. Literally, like, anytime
Scary.
mate. And then they're just pronging me with fucking needles. They put 2 in this arm, 2 in this. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, we don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, and I'm like, fucking, what do you mean you don't know? Like, you go through stages in hospital, don't you? Where you go with these fucking first people who are just like,
the shit
ruthless.
one.
They have just prodded you and that. And they put me in a COVID room. They were testing me for COVID over and over again.
Yeah.
And then it was pleurisy, they were saying.
Yeah.
It ended up I had sepsis and pneumonia.
Yeah.
And like they were saying, we don't know what's gonna happen. You just got to keep fighting the sepsis.
Yeah.
You've got to fight sepsis,
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
Is
Like,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
It's
Once
one of them
it gets you, it
things.
gets you.
If it gets in you, like, you can lose arms and legs.
Yeah.
My
Fucking
mate
hell.
died of sepsis not long ago.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Dean Ellaway, another one gone
Taken too
through
soon.
alcohol and
Yeah.
homelessness. Yeah, and just fucking, I didn't know what I was gonna do, and obviously whilst I was in there, I had a heroin addiction and methadone. I was on 90 mil of methadone at the time, which is, some people would say that's harder to come off than heroin, but I had a habit with the both, and so not only am I ill, but I'm clucking now from the drugs. They tried diagnosing me with COVID in there as well. Whether it was true or not, because I don't fucking know if that's even real. But that's another story. I just say COVID just to make myself look harder. But then they put me on B7 in Heath Hospital, and the guy come in. He said, "Listen," I said, "Where's my meth?" They went, "Listen, your nurse is saying you're not having the meth. If you want to go on the methadone, you have to go every single day." Just before it, I had like this kind of spiritual awakening. Dare I say it? Like, everyone cringes at that, like, but I don't believe in a religion, but I definitely believe there's something out there.
Yeah.
And I just prayed to a higher power and just said, "Listen, take me in. I promise you, if you let me see through this, I will help myself and anyone I can come into contact with from this day forward."
Yeah.
So when they said, you can stay on the methadone, but you have to go every single day for the, even including weekends to town, I thought, well, I'm contradicting myself here if I say, I go back on the meth. Because it's just no life. They said, your other option is Buvidal. And I said, oh, fuck. And I actually heard of this Buvidal just
It's a new
before
drug out,
it.
is it?
Yeah, so basically, it's an injection, and they tried offering it to me before because it was for reckless users during COVID. Save you going every single day to get your meth. They inject you with this thing, and it's kind of like a blocker where you inject you and you don't have to have it for a month. It just holds you for a month.
Okay.
Right.
So I just realised I was a Tackle Your Thoughts jumper. That is actually lovely, isn't it?
One of them. We'll give you one of them.
We ship you one of them,
Yeah,
definitely.
we get one of them.
Yeah.
Pops.
So thank you. so like, yeah, I just kind of like, COVID's just kicked in. Everyone's talking about these vaccines being ill. Everyone's talking about COVID being man-made. I'm a conspiracy nut anyway on drugs.
You love that
paranoid.
shit too.
Yeah, and I'm a paranoid wreck anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, hang on a minute. So if they were trying to kill us with COVID, the first thing they would try and wipe out are the druggies and the prisoners.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden they bring in this drug which people get
Yeah,
injected with?
what is this?
They're
Like,
gonna kill me.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want that. That's what I was thinking before.
Yeah.
So when he's offered it to me, I just thought, you went, mate, look fucking round you. You're on B7. I've looked around me. You've got fucking 20 old men in their 80s there listening to me, and I'm just like, dirty looking, like he's right.
What am I doing?
You're
Yeah,
gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
And I took it, and I just haven't looked back, mate.
Yeah.
I
That
just
was it.
haven't looked back from
The smile
that
on
day
your
on.
face, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
you just lit up there when you
Yeah.
said I haven't look.
I just haven't.
Do you know what? I
haven't looked back.
Just fixed. Like,
I only know you over social media and from today. I'm super proud of you, mate. It's unbelievable. That smile just made
thank
my
you,
day.
mate.
It's fucking incredible to see.
I just haven't looked back. Like it's crazy. Like because, you know, I do feel bad with some of the people I've left behind, and there's people who have messaged me and said you've changed, but like, I don't know. I think they're happy for me. I just think because I just haven't given them the time of day to.
You've got to be selfish, Cullan.
Yeah,
You've
you have to look after yourself to be able to have to look after anybody else at any point in the
Definitely.
future. So
Well, how can you love yourself? How
Exactly.
can you love anyone until you love yourself? It's the
Exactly.
same
Spot on,
thing.
mate.
it's just- yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying. You know, if they were happy for me, they, you know, if they love me, they'd be happy for me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
You know,
They're almost
it's
there.
crazy, but like,
How long's it been now?
So it was August 2020. I'm like 15, 16 months. I was counting every day, but when it got to a year, I was
I've done a year.
It's like I said, saying 6 months for the last fucking 4
Yeah.
weeks. But it's about 16 months later. It's coming
yeah.
up to 2 years. Like I'm on
incredible.
that road now.
Yeah, it's so
August, 2 years. It's unbelievable. And like I said, like, you know, I ripped my life off 2-3 years into heroin. I never thought I'd ever have a girlfriend, a normal girlfriend. I never thought my parents would trust me or accept that I've changed.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get my old friends back from school and
Yeah.
rugby and football days.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd get a job. And I never thought I'd ever be a success. I never thought I'd ever get clean.
Yeah.
Um,
Look you now, mate.
yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Fair
It's
play.
incredible. And your job now, you're helping others as well now.
Yeah. It's like, it's mad. Like, I've always been a talker and a blagger, hence why I used to try and blag for money. But now I'm doing it for the good reasons, and literally I'm just sharing my story. And at the same time, obviously, I'm kind of an advocate now for Bouverdal because I was the first man in Britain to be share cared privately. So instead of going to a service to get it, I go to a private doctor who's paid themselves for me to go. The woman, like said, she heard my story and wanted to take me on privately. So So like, it's taken away that stigma as well of being a service user. I suppose I'm going to a private doctor I have once a month, and the beauty about it, like I would love to. I'm trying to promote it as much, but I'd love to go on to some big platform to like let people know about it, because there's not enough known about it. And some people say, oh yeah, it works for some people. Listen,
if it works for one more person,
and like, I was the world's worst fucking smackhead. I hate saying that word. I only say it when I need to like
make a point.
Like, because I don't believe in like junkies and all that, but like I was a smackhead and the world's worst, and I am now not only clean, I'm succeeding in my life to my levels of success. I'm succeeding that. So if it's working for me, it's got to work for some others, you know. And
of course it has,
it's massive in Australia and Sweden. They kind of trialled it in Wales during COVID, but England and are not really using it. And I'd like to put it out there, hence why I speak in like uni Stirling and South Wales and stuff. So like, it's
well, you've got a platform now, mate, haven't you? So it's incredible.
Well, that's it. Like, I don't really like talk about it much on my podcast. Maybe I should do it more, and maybe like I want to do more catch-ups, but like we were doing catch-ups before, and it was quite generic where we just sit there and talk about the last guest, but now I'd like to do it where it's just a conversation like this, and maybe get guys down to talk about
just chilled out
life more, because when it comes to a podcast, it's just there, I'm focusing on your life there, like, which I love doing,
of course,
but like I think I should be using my platform to spread the words of
I'm just thinking that other users would hear your podcast and talk about how you overcame it and the drugs you're on, what you're doing now to fix that. And so
I've got the world's worst addictive. I've got the addictive personality. It's crazy. I got. And like,
But if one person listens to that and you help that one person,
that's what I say.
You've won. You've won.
It's like this YouTube world's fucking crazy, and like there's some of the people I look and I'm like, how the fuck is this guy got this following from pure negativity? But misery breeds misery. That's what Jeremy Kyle was there for. People who got 40 feel better because this guy's got 2 teeth in his head. It's like, oh well, I am a bit better then. And people love that shit. Like, but like we're against a battle. It's the battle of light and, you know, bad and good, light and dark, and we are just a bit of light now, trying to spread that. And even I say this all the time, I'd rather help a handful of people than delude 1,000.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's what I would rather do.
Definitely.
I'd rather fucking 4 or 5 people say, do you know what, mate, you made me see something.
Yeah.
Than just talk shit for an hour and have 1,000 people think, yeah, he's cool, he is, when it's not really cool, or what he's on about.
Yeah. I think you're doing that already, mate, to be honest with you. You're probably having more of an impact than you realise.
Yeah, well, that's it. I have to keep saying that to myself, because sometimes I think maybe we're wasting our money. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
You're not. I promise you.
Nah.
But, you know.
Keep doing what you're doing, mate, because it's having an impact.
Thank you.
You've impacted us too, just sat here. All we've done for the last hour and 25 minutes is stay here thinking, fucking, he's been through the mill, and look at him now, he's succeeding. And he's helping others, so mate, it's fucking brilliant. It's awesome.
I like, you know, when I used to watch these programs and like, it was like, there was one guy, Brandon Novak, who's an ex-Jackass guy. He was a heroin addict, and he come through the other side, and I'm like, I love all this until the moment he says he got clean. Because I'm not clean.
Get you.
You know? I love this story, and he's inspired me till the moment he said he got, but like, it's not the case. Like I just wrote myself off, and I never thought I would get there.
Yeah.
You have to believe in yourself. And when people say to me as well about like, well, how are you staying clean? Like what you put in place. You just, like, people say as well, like, keeping busy is a form of
distraction,
you know, but you know what, it is, but you can use that to your advantage. It's not just a negative way, it's positives to that as well. You should take a positive out of everything. And like that's what I'm trying to do. The more things I'm achieving, the more I have to lose, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm just weighing up the pros and cons,
just stacking up
you know. Stuff. And it started off small, you know. I weighed up that I'm 2 days clean. I'm weighing up 3 days. Then it comes to weighing up a month, and that voluntary thing I just done. Then it's that girlfriend I've just met. Then it's that fucking job that's potentially there. Then it's, oh my God, I've just had an idea of a podcast. If I fuck this, that's gone down the drain. And now it's just gone massive. Like
your ceiling just keeps growing, right? Keeps growing. And did you think 12 months ago you'd have like 4,000 followers on YouTube, and your podcast has been impacted around the world? You got Mark Drakeford on. What the fuck? Come on.
I know.
It's amazing. It's amazing, mate.
Shaking hands with him and all that. Shaking hands with prison officers who fucking locked me up. And, you know,
that's what it's about, though. It's breaking down those barriers, it's having those conversations.
And you know what? If it ain't, you know, this is my selfish opinion now, but even if we ain't, like, we only make that one difference, or we didn't make a difference, sorry. I'm helping myself, because I'm keeping myself
self-love again, mate.
So you'll always be helping someone.
That is self-love. You've got to be a bit selfish, haven't you?
Fucking right, you got definitely.
You have to.
My missus says to me sometimes, because like I guess like phone calls, like my phone like pretty bad, like, and at the beginning, like what you got to realise is I was a heroin addict, I couldn't have a fucking smartphone. It was going to cash gen, or I'd lose it, So when I first, like, I think I did go to one addiction to another. This is what's on social media now. I woke up in that COVID room in hospital, fucked. Stopped smoking the gear. Went from one addiction to waking up to an iPhone by the side of me, where a doctor came in and said, your dad's got you that to keep in touch. From that moment there, I went from one addiction to another. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm
addicted now. Then I done that one video, and then I had people like, oh my God, he's doing well. Addiction, the endorphins, all that fucking shit, that come, the dopamine levels. And then from then, it went from that to speaking about my story a bit. That went off, and then it went to like the podcast and the news, and then loads of people are messaging me who didn't want to know me before, and I got sucked into that,
just like overwhelmed,
really sucked into it. You've got to just like, fuck, I've took back a lot now lately, and I've been thinking about myself. I met a girl through it, like, you know, getting clean, but like I almost lost her from like being sucked into that. She was like, hang on a minute, Cole. This is not what it's about.
Spend
like,
some time with me, like.
And like, you know, you've got to learn when to cut off. You've got to get a work phone. And I feel sometimes like, well, in an ideal world, right, I would love to set up a service that's 24/7, and I have people working round the clock. And then people can come in or phone up and say, because you've got to catch that person with addictions.
Yeah, it's not.
There's moments of clarity.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I could have got clean, right, at 3 a.m. on a Saturday, right, when I've just run out of money? Fuck this life. I want to fucking. I want to end it all, but there's no one there to turn it. No. And the next day, I managed to make 25 quid and go and score again. I think, I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I can handle this.
Yeah.
Like there's moments. There was many times if you catch them at the right time, and that would ideally be. But right now, I've just got to be balanced and know that like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock switch off call.
Yeah.
Put your phone away. You're not in work now. Like
be selfish, mate.
Yeah.
Be selfish.
And that's what I was doing at the beginning. I was like all hours. I had burnout. Like November time.
If you work 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, you couldn't help every single person in the world anyway. So
exactly.
you're gonna have to step back at some point and slow it. So
And you'd rather be fucking 100% fucking that time than 25% all that time.
Exactly, yeah. No, mate, you hit the nail on the head saying you're an inspiration, and you are, to show that you've beaten it, and you're out the other side. So if you can do it, why can't somebody else? Yeah. So just keep telling your story, mate. It's fucking inspirational. Yeah. No, and the work you're doing with Central Club is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, you enjoy it? What's your favourite podcast? Episode, sorry.
So... I really, do you know what? I probably shouldn't say this, but fuck it, I'm going to say it. Mark Drakeford, I thought was a bell end until he came on your podcast, and I thought he's a decent guy, actually. The way he spoke and got involved with you guys. I might not agree with some of his policies and all that shit, but as a person, he said, it's politics, isn't it?
Yeah. He actually came on his own, no mask.
Yeah.
And I've had guests on who have said at the end, can you take that out? Or, I mean, anything there you're upsetting? I know.
Yeah. Did he?
Well done.
I think the other one was
fair play.
The other one was like Coco.
Yeah,
how honest she was, and so
she's good for all this talk as well. If you ever need to get her,
I was thinking that.
She's full of life,
open,
full of fucking life.
Lively,
But he talks.
But across the board, mate, you're doing fucking really, really well. So I'm guessing socials, over Facebook.
Yeah, so Twitter. Obviously, we're on every social. Our TikTok's done really well. For the people who are just like, this day and age, who are quite impatient and don't want to sit through an hour and a half, we take the best bits. And we've actually had people go back and look at like the likes of Ron Dean, who done 10 years in Kenya and is now helping with Kaleidoscope and stuff. We've had these people on, and now people are taking their time out to go watch them episodes because they're seeing the best bits from TikTok. But it's the Central Club on everything. Obviously, I got my own socials, Cullain Mais. I've got a little private YouTube channel as well. I just go on there just to talk.
Love it.
Just chat.
A little bit of my private life and stuff. And
is that your personal name then?
It's just my personal name, Cullain Mais. It's like I'm not trying to make anything of it. It's just literally there. I can say things a bit more freely than I was on the Central Club, so we don't get hung there, like, type of thing. But eventually, like, I think with the podcast, I would love it to be something where it's more than a podcast. It's more like a, dare I say, not like a record label, but like that type of hub where, we can run shows on a Tuesday with some girls and Wednesday on a sports show with someone. It don't have to be us, and not just that, just other things as well. Like we can do, like and I'll tell you one thing though, we are majorly down with collaborating with anyone. Like if there's any help that like you guys need or anyone or if there's something you want from us, we're all for that. Like,
likewise as well, mate.
100%. Because I love what you guys are doing.
Anyway, we can help or get involved and
perhaps you should go for a coffee.
100%.
Go for a coffee.
100%.
Let's do something together.
In like Britain, especially like in England and stuff, like the fucking shit these people do, like against each other. I think Wales should set an example of
100%.
Like working together. Because do you know what's a big problem? Like I'm having Anis Abraham. I don't know if you know him. Anis Abraham, Cardiff City boy, old Cardiff like hooligan type of guy, quite controversial. He's coming down this weekend and he wants to talk about like the state of Cardiff City Football Club. And I say the same about what we're doing in the podcast. It's the same with the music scene in Wales. It's the same with our football club. There's just no ambition, and everyone like just. It's just like there's nothing going on. Like we need to work together instead of being this crab bucket mentality where you're like, oh well, fuck him, and like people look at like musicians now, if they're rapping, like, hey, he's a rapper, but that's his craft, and he does
Exactly,
it. He's actually
yeah.
good at what he does. So,
Everybody's
and like,
got
yeah, you'll be surprised that like, you know, you think the closest people around you are the ones who don't support you.
Yeah.
But I just think like we should be setting an example where we work together, we network together, and you know, same, and in the same with podcasting is what I'm saying, because like I'm all for different like. I'd say something on this podcast that I've done on another one, and you've got something totally different out of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know, one could be a sports podcast, the other one's a fucking, I don't know, glamour podcast. And
Yeah.
I just think it's great, like, and it's good to see. And
We just don't do
I'm
enough
all
of it, do we?
No, it's
We don't.
just
Well, that's it,
talking.
'cause I've seen-
Like, it's so good what talking can do. Like we didn't know each other, or none of us knew each other before.
Yeah, how
this,
did
and
you
then-
do meet
oh,
then?
well, yeah, sorry, we've known each other.
We've known each other donkey's years.
Just
Through rugby, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just by
Yeah.
association friends and whatever else,
Yeah.
and playing whatever.
Yeah.
else.
What was your idea for the name? I just want to do a podcast.
What, for-
the podcast?
This, just to get, again, similar to what you said, if we can just help one person, because we all had individual stories of our struggles. Josh hasn't been through a struggle, so he looks at it as in a different way.
Yeah.
And if we can help
Yeah,
out,
anyway.
if we can help one person, then we're on to a winner.
Yeah.
And then it just snowballs there,
Yeah.
really, doesn't it? So,
Yeah.
I love the name Tackle Your Thoughts.
Just
That was
being
Di,
really-
wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Di's brainchild. Like,
Yeah.
He's mad, isn't he?
Yeah.
fucking howler.
He's good. He's
He's
good
quite
as
a
well.
nutter, like, isn't he? I
Yeah.
looked at him, I was like, I like, you know, when you see someone on camera or something, you have a perception of him.
Yeah.
He was totally different.
Different.
To what yeah.
Yeah.
What a nice guy, like.
Yeah, he's chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do it. Let's meet up. Let's have a coffee.
Yeah.
Let's do something
100%.
together. But Kel, from us to you, mate, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
Massive thank you.
Like I said earlier, we hardly know each other, but we're proud of you, seeing how far you've come.
Yeah,
so
thank you so much, honestly.
but
I
thanks,
really
mate.
appreciate you for letting me come down and
Yeah, I appreciate you
share
coming
my
on,
story, man. I'm glad, like, you know, you guys could take something, and hopefully your viewers can
definitely
take something from it as well. And like I said, just let's keep on rocking.
Amazing.
legend.
Love it.
Thanks,
Keep on
Kel.
trucking.
Good man. Thanks, buddy.
Stay
Cheers, mate.
central.